the courts actually ruled very realistically. You know, we've had very, very strong support from almost everybody on the island for the Halloween celebrations. And almost everybody recognizes that this is not intruding into a culturally sacred area. Uh, and the Halloween parties have been going on regardless. So what really happened was the judge ruled that this all of a sudden new Hawaiian cultural group that popped up, who didn't identify any of their members, who were trying to get standing but have not been incorporated, uh, didn't exist legally, and that the gentleman from Kula that's trying to say, well, he has standing in Lahaina, really doesn't have standing. Now, the Halloween event has and I guess you saw the editorial comment in the Maui News, has the blessing of the Friends of Moku'ula. It has the blessings of just about everybody. We went out and in one day got literally hundreds of people to sign a petition and sign documentation that they support the event. The business community, Chamber of Commerce, Hotel Association, almost all of the unions, everybody has been in favor of the event. So to have a handful of people who really have not been empowered by the Hawaiian community, claim to be the spokespeople for all the Hawaiian community, and have them stop an event or try to stop an event that they have no power to stop anyway, is, you know, it was put in its place by the judge. The Cultural and Resources Commission had jurisdiction over two items: the height of the stage, and they had jurisdiction over the kind of activities that were going to happen under the banyan tree. Now, there's a reason why we were easily able to not go to the Cultural Resources Commission. That's because we didn't raise the height of the stage, and we agreed not to do anything under the banyan tree that would be obnoxious or didn't fit within the scope of normality. But these commissions do not have the power or the authority to be able to dictate morality standards for everybody in the community, nor do they have the power to be able to dictate how the business sector is going to run or how everybody else is going to be able to dress for an event like Halloween. Neither do we as a county government. If an individual wants to dress in a costume, they're perfectly entitled to it as citizens of the United States. So the past rulings have not stopped this kind of activity. If people are going to behave obnoxiously, it's much, much better to have the police there and to have people that are going to be able to control the situation in place rather than to have none of that control. For people that are going to be congregating on the streets, it's much better to have some kind of program in place so that people will be safe rather than have cars zooming past and potential people getting hurt. And as far as the children are concerned, it's much, much safer to have people in authority and people that are organizing events to create events that are more children-friendly or family-friendly and to have the controls in place than to not have them. So all of the logical assessments that we have on trying to be able to work with the Lahaina Town Action Committee are there. And we met with virtually everyone, including the complainants. It's just that meeting with people and listening to what they have to say doesn't mean that we have to agree and do everything that they want us to do. If it doesn't make sense, then we are not going to agree to do it. And that's what happened, and they're trying to throw a temper tantrum and say, well, you have to do everything we say we want you to do, otherwise we're going to create a problem. Well, that's just not going to happen.
That being said, looking at tonight's event, what is the anticipation, the amount of people, and the type of festivities that will be taking place?
I'm anticipating that this may be one of the more popular events and one of the most better attended event. Uh, I'm also anticipating that it's going to be one of the better controlled events because of the sheer volume of attention that's been put to it. So I think people will be very aware that they need to be dressed appropriately, even though they will come out with some very nice costumes. But I've watched a lot of the film of what's happening on Halloween that's been put on community TV, Akaku. And even though the cameras are rolling, most of the people that were there were dressed very appropriately. I didn't see any more nudity than I'd see at any of the beaches on Maui on any given day. It's just that some people will take an event and make it much more extreme just to be able to create an issue. But I would dare say that on any given day, you go to any beach on Maui, you're going to see more flesh than you will on Halloween. The costumes on Halloween night are just fantastic, as I've seen in a lot of videos. So I'm hoping that that'll happen again.
Okay, and then in terms of the injunction, there was two items, two areas that they were specifically concerned with: the ahu in the Banyan Tree Park, and then the ahu at Moku'ula. Is there any precautions taking place to protect those areas?
Well, there are going to be more presence, police presence, and our personnel are going to be taking more precautions than would normally be done. And certainly there will be a lot more precautions that will be taken than would happen if we didn't have the security there. So we're going to take the proper precautions to try and ensure security at a higher level, and we'll see what happens.
For the monetary expense that the county has put towards this, is there any dollar or ballpark figure on the police presence or the amount invested in the volunteers coming out?
I don't have an estimate ready, but it's been done in the past. And when you look at the benefit for the community as a whole economically, it's always been very, very much skewed as a profitable event, even after the expenditures have been put together. The amount of revenue that most of the businesses are claiming to be able to generate from this one night is more. This is the most profitable night in Lahaina, from what we've been told. So the return to the community and the entirety is going to be very good.
Okay. And any message that you'd like to share with the community as we anticipate the events happening tonight?
If I'd just like to thank the community for standing up for the community's rights, and for all the people that were willing to speak out and be able to stop the handful of people that are just trying to create a situation. And I also would like to, caution the community that there are going to be many times where we're going to have a few individuals that are going to try and tread on the rights of everybody. And we need to be very cognizant of the fact that media now allows them to be very vocal. But that doesn't mean that they're right. And that doesn't mean that what they're saying is correct. We need to really look at what is actually being said, whether it's truthful or not. Many of the things that were brought up as issues, for instance, that we were trying to create genocide, are just absolutely hilarious in the level of audacity that it reaches. And for people to actually try and use these kinds of tactics and then say, well, I am going to be the only one that's going to be able to dictate what's going to happen, puts them well beyond the level of trying to play God. And we as a community need to protect ourselves against this kind of radicalism. We need to use common sense, and we need to be able to work together. We don't want to take away from the community its ability to use logic and to get things that are beneficial for everyone. And as mayor, that's what I'm going to try and do, is work with everybody to try and get the best benefit for the most people.